What's up, everybody? Welcome to The Revival. My name is JJ, and I thought today would be kind of a good idea to, with my channel being so new, I was kind of like thinking maybe I could talk a little bit about my old podcast, and where some people know me from. Obviously, people I know in real life and stuff, but people who know my channel just through my Twitter or whatever, and didn't know that I did a podcast before this, which I do have all my old episodes uploaded on this channel. Thought I'd kind of just do a little bit of background and see how that goes. So, gosh, it's been like maybe 6 years now. I'm not sure when the original starting date was. It was years ago though. Basically, like when I was younger, I always wanted to do. Ever since I heard Pet Food Alpha for a Final Fantasy XI podcast, along with Limit Break Radio, which was also a Final Fantasy XI podcast at the time that I listened to it. I think they're still around for 14 as well. And also RPGamer.com does a podcast on RPGs, obviously, and stuff, and they're still going strong too. And they're always really interesting to listen to. That's where I get a lot of my news from. I still listen to them to this day. But I always thought it would be cool, like, because you listen to podcasts and stuff, if you do, and there's so many times where I want to like interject and be like, well, actually, and like actually like put in my 2 cents. Obviously, I can't do that because I'm not on the show. And I was always like, I could do that, just record what I'm saying and stuff. So then I heard, this was like back in high school. My friend Mark, who ended up doing the show with me, did a goofy podcast with a couple of his friends. You'll never hear it. You'll never see it. You'll never know more than a few blips about it that Mark may have mentioned on Frozen North. But it was basically just them just dicking around and just talking about whatever they could think of. But it was a joy for me to listen to, because I just like listening to people have a conversation about whatever. As long as they're passionate, you know what I mean? Like, if people are passionate about something, I love to hear about that kind of stuff. So I was like, I can totally do it. And I just didn't. And I had asked a couple of people, like, hey, you want to do a podcast? Hoping if I had somebody else on board, then maybe it would give me the motivation to, jump forward and actually do it. Nobody was really interested in the beginning. They were all just kind of like, do your own thing, whatever. So I don't know what it was that like triggered it or what, but one day I was just like, screw it, I'm just gonna do this. So what I did was I set up everything. Like, I had a game plan of like who I needed to talk to about equipment, where I was gonna record, how long each episode was gonna be, the format, what I was going to talk about, how many people I wanted involved. I planned all this stuff out. I was just like, I'm just going to do this, and if people want in, great. If not, I'll do it by myself. It's fine. I sent a Facebook message out to like 5 people, and I was like, or no, actually it was probably like 7 or 8. I think only 5 responded though. And I was like, hey, this is what I'm doing. I'm looking to get 3 people total, including myself. If anybody wants in, I'm going to hold an interview type thing for everybody, and I'd love to have you on, so let me know. 5 of them responded. We ended up going to lunch, and I just, because everybody was donating their time, I also had them bring I think like their top 5 games of all time or something, so I could listen to them talk about it and everything. And we just hung out. I bought everybody lunch, and we just talked about games for a little bit, and I was trying to get a feel for, who everybody that was there. And then ended up choosing Mark and Brian. Mark, I was kind of already convinced I wanted him on board, one, because I knew him pretty well, and he, had the technical knowledge that I didn't. Like I said, he had done his own personal podcast on the side a while ago, so I knew that if I had any tech questions, he'd be right on top of it, and sure enough, that's how it ended up working out. And then Brian, who has got like just a phenomenal personality as far as being able to just converse with people and carry on a conversation, even if it's something he's not interested in or thinks is dumb. He's so good at like feigning interest, and I don't mean that to sound negative. I just mean like he can turn something that isn't interesting, even if it's not interesting to him, and still make it to where you want to listen or you want to watch, if that makes sense. Which I thought was a really, really cool quality to have as well. So it ended up working out as well because he, at the time he wasn't super into JRPGs, and that's kind of what the podcast was going to initially be about, was story-focused gaming, RPGs and that kind of stuff. And at the time he was really big into like action-y, that kind of stuff. And so the three of us ended up getting together, and at the time, my voice is fine, I swear. This is like the 5th video that I've recorded today, so cut me some slack. We ended up getting together once a week for the next few weeks, just recording. Oh my gosh, it's a world of difference if you listen to the first episode to the last. It's ridiculous. The first episode I can't really even get through nowadays because it's so... I can leave it up on the website so people can see how far we came, because the final episode and how that all played out, and the amount of people that wrote in and submitted recordings of themselves and stuff, I was blown away, and I'm so proud of how that one turned out. It's amazing. Well, I guess I should talk about how I came up with the name. I wish it was deeper than this. It's not. I literally was just like, what do RPGs all have in common? Well, they've all got a northern icy place. Oh, Frozen North, okay. Yeah, that's literally how I came up with it. I wish I could have ad-libbed something cooler, lied, and said that it's something more interesting. It's not. That was literally all that happened. So, but yeah, that was kind of the birth of Frozen North. And over time, we did interviews. Ryan from the Suikoden Revival Movement, that was the first big interview that we did on the show. And I remember it was Mark and I, and we'd reached out to him. He was having computer issues, had no idea. I just assumed because their page had, thousands of followers. I was like, there's no way these guys are going to respond, but we love the series, so why not? Let's just see if maybe they want to do a Q&A or something, whatever. Ryan responded 2 or 3 months later out of the blue, and he's like, hey, sorry, I didn't have any internet, or his computer was broken or something like that. And he's like, I'm really sorry, but I'm usually the guy that does the podcast stuff for a group, so we we were like, oh, do you want to talk to us a little bit? And he's like, oh yeah, I'd love to. And he's super friendly, super great guy. And we were like, oh crap, what do we do now? Because he said yes. So and then, yeah, we wanted it, but we had no idea. We just assumed it was going to be a no or a no response. So we didn't know what to do. It's like asking a girl to dance for the first time. In your mind, you're like, oh gosh, she's going to say no. And you're all preparing yourself for how you're going to walk away defeated and whatnot. And then she says yes. And you're like, shit, what do I, okay, but me, just me, nobody else? Okay, all right, that's cool, thanks. But we ended up doing that interview, and I remember, just looking at him while we were playing and just being having this look on my face, this is going so well, this is awesome, I can't believe it. And Ryan ended up being a really good friend of the show. Still talk to him every now and then to this day. Just a really good dude, super intelligent, and really just fun to talk to and kind of pick his brain. And we met a lot of people like that. We met people from SoPro Gaming, and well, I guess I knew them for years, but we met some of the people that work there through it. Novastar Gaming. Those are a couple of LAN centers that are in the area here in Kansas City. And then Terra and Lightning from Terra and Lightning's RPG Roundup. They came on and did a two-parter with us. And just meeting all these awesome people. One of the guys that wrote for us, Isaac, actually he writes for another site called Goomba Stomp, doing a whole bunch of Nintendo stuff, which is really cool to see him doing that, because he's a great writer, young guy, got a really bright future ahead of him. And it's cool to see where these people have ended up since then. And I had such a great time throughout all 100 episodes, and I think everything worked out. As much frustration as it caused, and as many rough times as there were behind the scenes, everything that happened on the mic and you know, recording and going places, meeting new people, and just talking about games and how great the hobby is. It was just awesome, and I feel like that shines through in the progression of the show itself. So if you haven't, you know, give a few episodes a listen. If you listen to the final episode, I know it's weird to recommend listening to the final episode first, but one of the things we do in there is we choose our top 5 Frozen North episodes, and we basically say, like, hey, if you haven't heard our show before, these are ones that we recommend that you go and listen to. And if you like it and you want to listen to any other ones, by all means, like I said, they're all uploaded here on the channel. It's just awesome. I had a really great time. I think at our peak, we had maybe like 700 or 800 downloads a month, which was really, really cool. I wouldn't trade the experience for anything. It was just awesome. So yeah, I just want to give a little background on where I came from, and here I am doing this now. We had to stop it because, you know, real life just got in the way. It just 100 episodes is really, really great, and like I said, I'm so proud of what we did. But people have things they have to do, and it's tough to basically, it was tough for me to ask those guys to give up almost every Saturday for that amount of time, and the fact that they stuck with us so long is awesome to me, and I can't thank them enough for that. And I can't thank everybody who supported us and listened throughout the years as well. So yeah, that's about all I got on the Frozen North. Again, thanks for listening to me ramble, and as always, keep on gaming.